What if there's a system that could map out the course of your life? One that will allow you to navigate all the treacherous territories, accelerate your growth, and maximize opportunities. One that allows you to understand what affects your health, find and create more meaningful relationships, and make your business more profitable. A system that allows us to understand the past so that we know that life happens for us instead of to us. With that tool, we can navigate our future, find our life purpose, and create the passion that we need to drive our lives forward. A system that allows you to design your own life and master your destiny. Hi, I'm Joey Yap, creator of the Grow Rich with BaZi program and founder of the Mastery Academy of Chinese Metaphysics. I'm the author of The Destiny Code and I've published 169 books on subjects like Chinese Astrology, Feng Shui and Qimeng Dunjia. For the last 20 years, I've been teaching students from all over the world about life transformation using Chinese metaphysics. Since the year 2000, I've been working with top CEOs, iconic business leaders and Fortune 500 companies. Each year I speak to more than 50,000 people at my live seminars and events in major cities around the world. I'm invited to speak live on CNN, Bloomberg and CNBC. And I also have my own TV show that is aired annually, locally and throughout Southeast Asia. I've also been very fortunate to have been appointed as the chief consultant to some of the world's most iconic buildings in Australia, England, United States, Malaysia and Singapore. Welcome to my new training series, A Journey Into You. I want to invite you on a journey into you. The human behavioral system, personality tests, psychometrics have long fascinated mankind for thousands of centuries. Questions like who we are, why we do the things we do, and how our actions lead to a certain type of destiny. And then we'll ask the big question, are our destinies written in the stars? In fact, an article on Forbes inspired me back in 2012. And it says investments are a bet on the future. The question is, can our future be foretold with the alignment of the stars? JP Morgan once said that millionaires don't believe in astrology, billionaires do. So hear me now, believe me later. Come with me on a journey. I've broken down this vast subject into a 4-part training series where I will take you deep into the study of your destiny code. Now, before we begin, there are 3 things that I need you to do. First, number 1, you need your destiny code, and this is the new format. See the link above and below at the comment section or on your screen right now. Now click on this and go to the destiny plotter. Once you're in there, I want you to print your destiny chart by keying in your date and time of birth and also your loved ones as well. You want all your charts in front of you while we're going through this 4-part training series. Number 2, have a pen and paper ready to take down lots of notes. And number 3, it comes with every episode that you'll be watching a set of notes that fills in the blanks and provide all the background information. So you want to be able to download these set of notes. You will see the link above and below at the comment section and or on your screen right now. So these are the 3 things I need you to do before we begin our journey. Alright, let's begin our journey by first addressing the most important big idea, fate versus destiny. There are 2 groups of people. The first group are those who believe in fate. Those that believe from the moment of their birth, everything is already pre-written by the universe. Now the second group of people believe that they chart the course of their lives. They are in control of their destinies. Now, is there a difference between fate and destiny? Huge difference. Now, from the perspective of Chinese metaphysics, your destiny code is made up of both fate and destiny. Let me explain. Fate is what is given to you without much of your choice involved. For example, the family that you're born into, the circumstances and the environment that you grew up in, or the people that you meet. These are all fate. However, what do you do with all these that are presented to you, the opportunities, the people you meet, the choices that you make, that is your destiny. For instance, meeting the man of your dreams, for example, that meeting is fate. What you do after that meeting, that is your destiny. Destiny is created as a result of meeting those options that are turned into choices. There's a huge difference between options and choices. Options are opportunities, things that come into your life. When options are actionable, they become choices. Therefore, our destiny is a result of the choices that we make as a result of all these opportunities that presented itself along the way. Now, I do understand that some of us may be dealt with a hand that is not so fortunate. For example, some people may have some health issues at the time of their birth, or some people would have some disadvantages, or a traumatic past, for instance. All this are a matter of fate. And of course, there could be certain reasons due to the makeup of an astrology chart that have resulted in that. However, just because you're dealt with a bad hand does not equal a destiny that is going to be poor or unhappy. Because whatever that is dealt with is how you play the game. It's how you turn those options into choices, and choices become part of your destiny. And your destiny code is about understanding the options that are presented to you so that they become better choices. And when you make better choices, you design the destiny that you want. Now, before we could turn options into choices, we have to understand the two most important days in our lives. The first day is the day that we are born. The second day is the day we know why. Now, the day and time that we were born presents us with the destiny code. Now, your destiny code consists of various parts, but primarily 4 sections. Now, if you follow the plotter that I've created for you, you will see these 4 sections. The first section on the top here talks about your fate and or the chart that you're born with. This is everything that you have. In order to control your fate, first you need to be aware of what are the hidden talents and potentials that you have inside the destiny code. The second section here talks about the journey. This is where you could chart out the course of your life in 10-year blocks. We call this the journey. And if you are in sync with the journey, you are in flow. And the third section here talks about a short period of time where you could meet with opportunities, challenges, or people along the way. And the fourth section here tells you the talents and the skill set that you can acquire and that you can master to actually maximize all the opportunities and the hidden gems that are in your chart. The day you're born, this chart is created. The second most important day in your life is the day you know why you're born. And you can do that by understanding these 4 sections in your destiny code. You will be able to find your life purpose, create meaningful relationships, and find fulfillment in whatever you do.
I felt that Joey, in his explanations from what I'd seen in books and so on and so forth, had a much stronger foundation of logic and less of a kind of what I call woo-woo, mystical, magical stuff. Although obviously the magic is in following foundations.
He's a great lecturer. He knows how to deliver message, he knows how to teach, he knows how to listen to everyone and how to answer. And I think he's a great example to a lecturer, to a teacher, to a master.
I do think he's a genius. I always say Joey's a genius because of the vast amount of information that he uses and he's distilled and made it available. He's interesting, he's intriguing, he's different, quirky, but ultimately he's made all this amazing knowledge really, really accessible to everybody so they can take it and use it.
So this journey consists of 5 things: the map, passengers, the guide, the vehicle, and stages. Now, let's talk about the map. The map is like a treasure map. Imagine that you see a map right now and I tell you it leads to the treasure. Now, the treasure is a metaphor for all your dreams. Maybe your dream is to achieve a multi-million-dollar business. Maybe it's the perfect marriage. Maybe it's vibrant health. Maybe it's about being famous, being able to contribute to society, being able to make a difference. That is the spot marked X. Now, the map is not useful to you if I just give you a spot that is marked X. You need to look at the map and understand where you are. Imagine this, at any place that you visit around the world, the first thing that you look at the street map, the first point that you look for is the spot that says you are here. Because once you know where you are on this big map, then you can trace the multiple paths that can lead you to the point marked X. That is why it is important to understand that this is the metaphor of your destiny code. In your destiny code, there are sections. The first section talks about you. who you are, what you're capable of doing, what are your talents, and what are your hidden potentials. And then there's a section that talks about where you are in your journey, exactly at which point you are and how far you are away from the point that you want to be. Now, the tool that we talk about is the understanding of all these codes. What are the invisible forces that prevents us from getting to the point marked X? Or maybe, what are the hidden gems along the way that could help us to get to the point marked X? Some people don't even know what is the point marked X. Some people say that, no, I don't have a desire. I don't want to have a desire. Listen, if you don't want to have a desire in itself, it's also a desire. So you might as well have a greater desire, because everything that you want in life starts from a desire to obtain. And that is what we mean by the point mark X. Now, there are 3 stages that you could be in at any one point in your journey. The first stage is the struggler's stage. Now, you can recognize if you're in this stage when you seem to be speaking in the tone of scarcity. And in this stage, you feel that life seems to treat you in an unfair way, and you seem to be victimized in your work or in your pursuit to achieve your goals, that life has been unfair, that people are treating you badly, and or circumstances seem to be constantly hitting you and putting you down. And in fact, at this stage, you feel that you're emotionally unstable and constantly in bad temper and constantly struggling. Now, of course, these are just stages in your life. It is only a problem when you get stuck in this stage. It's just like falling into water. You can't drown when you fall into water. You only drown when you stay in the water. So your job in this journey is to get out of this stage, up the ladder into the next stage. Now, the next stage in your journey is the survivor stage. Now, the survivor stage is when you have achieved some goals in your life. Perhaps you have achieved a career goal, but you felt that you're lonely. You haven't achieved a personal relationship that is fulfilling. Or maybe you have a great relationship, but your career is missing out. Or maybe you wouldn't have great career and good relationships, but your health is missing out. There's some point in your life that you felt that life is incomplete. There's a stage where you're cruising along, but yet something is missing. Something seems to be not right, and success is not consistent. Now, many people, as they grow from the struggler to the survivor, they have to go through this stage. Now, the next level of the journey is where you want to be, and that is the thriver stage. So once you reach to the thriving stage, that is when you actually find meaning in what you do. You will not only have success in your career, but you're going to maintain being successful. You see, there's one thing becoming rich. It's a totally different thing in staying rich. So if you are thriving, that's when you find fulfillment and achievement in a prolonged process, where you can actually find consistency in what you do, and that life has a meaning when you begin to impact other people. You find that your work is now contributing to the work of others. You're making a difference in other people's lives. That is the thriving stage. Now, all of us go through these stages. At some points, we may be able to reach through from struggling to surviving to thriving and then back down to surviving. This whole thing is in fact the journey of life. The question is, how do you get unstuck from one stage to the other? Getting unstuck to get to the thriving stage should be your mission in life.
But the amazing thing about Dato is that even though there are some parts of the chart which are not favourable, he makes it seem like there is still an opportunity to change. There is always an option. Dato always gives us a chance to change things and make it better.
I think Joya is very innovative, and he actually come up with new ideas about the traditional BaZi and give us more insight to it and how we actually have view things from a different perspective.
Each and every course has a lot of information you can learn in an easy way, different from the traditional schools that maybe are a little bit inhibited as for the information. Learning with Joey is the best way to advance fast financially and in any chapter of your life.
Now, in our life journey, we are bound to have people that come along with us. These are called passengers. Now, you could be the driver or they could be the driver, but nevertheless, someone will be with you. Your family, for example, you may be growing up with a family, and when you have your family along, these are the people that will come along with you on the journey. When you go to work, for example, there are people working with you. When you go to study something, there are students and your colleagues that are studying something together with you. There will always be passengers along the way. It makes sense to understand who these people are, because you will be able to better communicate with them and, more importantly, influence them. because these people can make your journey more pleasant, they can make your journey more worthwhile, and more importantly, you create meaning and experiences and memories with these people. A journey is only great when you create meaningful memories. That's how you make a life that is worth living. So let's get started here. Let's categorize all passengers that you will ever meet in your life in 5 categories. And you can get this by looking at their destiny charts. Now, how do you see this? Is you look at these sections where it says the 5 structures. There are 5 types of passengers, namely the generals, the snipers, the glass cannon, the minions, and the tanks. These 5 are really interesting with their own characteristics, and you can see the percentage of the characteristics in anyone's chart. Now, just in case you forgot how do you get the chart, you see the link above and below your screen right now or on the screen. Click on this link, print your destiny chart, and look at the 5 structures. Now, let's talk about the general. If the percentage is the highest for the general, this is how this passenger or this person behaves. Generals are strategic. They are big picture oriented. They have the ability to command and lead. They like to be in control all the time. They're highly strung though. They're ineffective without subordinates because they like to get people to do things for them. And they're overzealous. They always look for ways to control so that they can get things done. So generals like to be in control all the time. They generally like to take on the leadership position. They like to be in control. They like to be strategic. They plan things out. In fact, they like to do things themselves because generally they feel that they're the only ones to get the job done. They're overzealous in making sure things go their way. And most of the time, they're highly strung. Next come the snipers. Now, if this percentage is the highest in your chart, you're looking at a sniper. A sniper is someone who are meticulous. They take time to analyze the situation before they actually shoot. They want to be as accurate as possible. They collect data. They want to see the patterns. They want to understand the trends before they take action. In other words, they're perfectionists and they want to be careful. Oftentimes, the problem with snipers is they are slow to take action and they're laborious in making things happen because they care about being precise. And snipers have an over-reliance on tools. They want to make sure that they get things right before they get started. Now, the third category could be glass cannons. Now, what are glass cannons? They look good. They're full of ideas. They like to invent things. They are cheerful. They look great, in fact. These are the people that you go to when you want to find a nice story. However, they don't take that too many hits because they look good, but sometimes they go nowhere. They can talk big, but once under pressure, they will crack. At an extreme level, glass cannons are pretty much imbalanced with too many ideas but lack of execution. That's why they're called a glass cannon. They look good, but they're not necessarily going forward. Next comes the tanks. The tanks are a little bit opposite of the glass cannons. Tanks are one-directional. They can take a lot of hits and they go straight forward and they are able to bulldoze their way through. However, they lack mobility. For them to change their minds to do something else, it will take a pretty long time. And tanks are pretty difficult to convince. Very difficult to get them to move, but once they're on a roll, it's very hard to stop them. That's what tanks are. At an extreme level, tanks are too stubborn, in fact. It's very difficult to control tanks. Tanks are relentless, they're persistent, and they won't give up. The only problem is one directional. Hopefully, they're on the correct direction because changing path is pretty much too difficult for a tank. And the last but not least, these are called the minions. For people in the minions, they are the best companions to be with because they are cheerful, they are joyful, they are great friends, they like to talk a lot. If you have this percentage as a very high percentage in your chart, you always like a great story if you're the one telling it. They are extremely supportive and fun to be with. The only problem is sometimes they lack of leadership. They like to follow the big crowd. They like to go with the masses. They always go where there's a lot of people. And they're always on the dopamine drive. In fact, these are the type of people that like the likes on their Facebook. They like to keep refreshing their Facebook to see how many likes they have. In extreme cases, they become followers and not independent. They lack their own style and personality because they're following whatever the crowd wants. Now, the truth is this. Although one of these could be our primary structure, but we are oftentimes made up of different percentage of all 5. All of these are in our character that makes us who we are. But we are dominated by 1 or 2 of these nature within us. Now, every passenger that we ride with consists of one of these dominant structures and behaviors. If you have a whole group of people in your team that are all generals, you're going to have major arguments. You don't want to go on a holiday with a general because The general will dictate exactly what time you need to wake up, what is the itinerary of the day. It's very hard to relax when you go out with a general. But you want to hire a general when they're leading your team. If you want to execute your brilliant ideas, you need a general to execute them, because these are the no-nonsense person that get things done their way and they're highly responsible. But generals don't normally come up with great ideas. You need glass cannons to come up with great ideas. So if you're trying to form a business team, you want to start a business, but you don't have glass cannons there, you want great ideas or innovation. These are the strategic thinkers and idea person that comes up with breakthroughs. But they can't do the job for you. They can talk, but they can't make things happen, because one shot and they might break. In order to get things done and make things happen, you need some tanks, because these are the people that could drive through any obstacles and problems. As you could see, in order to succeed in our journey in life, we need a mixture of these people. That's what we call group dynamics. And that's the benefit of knowing the destiny code. You can now print out the destiny codes of all the people that work with you or you're working with and find out what structures they are. And here's another thing. The percentage of these structures changes through time. That's called the dynamic chart. When you look at your new destiny code printout, the plotter will identify a dynamic model that shows you at a certain point in your journey a percentage of your structure. So your task right now is to print out your chart to look at what you're born with and where you are right now. And don't just do it for yourself. Make sure you do an analysis of your team, the people you're working with, and of course, the people you're living with, because once you know how they operate, you can better learn how to influence them. Now, to read more about this, there are notes. Please remember to download the accompanying notes that come with this lesson. Study all this, and when you're ready, we're going to the next lesson. In the upcoming episode, we're going to fulfill the different parts of our journey. Remember, we now have a map. We now know the passengers. We still don't know who the guides are. We want to understand who these guides are, which represent your advisors, your coach, your mentors in your life, and more importantly, how to convince them to get into your life to assist you to go up to your next level. That's where you want to be. Oh, and one final point. You are not on this journey alone. I've created a private Facebook community where you can discuss with like-minded individuals, and you might even find a study buddy. So see the link above and below right now. Click on this and there will be an opportunity where you can click and request access to a secret private Facebook group. And once you join the group, be sure to share your experience, your journey, and we'll be able to share with you more tips and pointers for you to get on to the next stage of your journey. So now be sure to watch your inbox and check back with the group for the release of the next episode in the journey into you. I'll see you then.
My main concern is my children. So why I get into BaZi is because I want to help them find a goal in life. It started when I asked their friends, their classmates, what do you want to do when you grow up? The answer is, I don't know, auntie. I have no idea. So I was thinking, at 15 and 16, during my years, we know what we want to do, or at least have an idea what to do.
Also, 15 years old.
Huh? Yeah. But at their age, this time, they don't know what to do. So I thought, there must be a way to find out. So I happened to attend Joey Yap's talk. I first started studying, they say, what hocus pocus you are going to, Mom? This is all kind of magic. Don't tell me, I don't want to listen.
Okay. That was your challenge at first, lah.
Yeah, they put their fingers to the ear. Don't tell me, I'm not going to listen. This is not scientific. Don't tell me. But when things are being proven many times and again, when I tell them, you see, today you're going to interview and you'll see a woman and a man and this will happen. No lah, don't simply say, Mom, I'm just going for interview. When they come back, they'll tell me, oh, it's true, there's a woman and a man.
The more you understand what good things you have, the more you can give those good things to others. We look at strategies of how we can improve our lives. That's how we should use astrology.
character can change. Everything is changing, every day is changing. So you must be able to take what comes and endure it or correct it, and then you can face life. Because I always tell them, when I'm not around one day, who is going to give you advice? Who are you going to talk to? You look at your own chart and you understand yourself first.